shut up. I've turned myself down because fucking Eric in the control studio is just yelling at me all the time. So if I'm quiet, it's not my
Mm.
fault. It's producer Eric's fault.
He is autistic. Um, yeah, for listeners not here aren't in the know, producer Eric is our token diversity hire. Uh, he's basically got more or less everything wrong with him. He's autistic. Um, he identifies as the letter A. Um, yeah, there's a lot wrong
Wow.
with Eric. We, yeah,
There's a
it's,
lot right with him too. He gets us on the air. So cheers, Eric.
yeah. Wow, my coffee tastes like shit. What's yours like?
I don't drink coffee, so I'm good. I mean,
Yeah.
from my angle where I sit in the studio, I can see the coffee pot and, peek behind the curtain. Eric literally shits in the coffee pot, so that might explain the taste. Eh,
Mm,
maybe. I guess he figured you're into it. I mean, you're always mushing your smashed pumpkin butthole against the glass
mm,
into
yeah,
the sound room, but I
I'm
guess he
starting.
misinterpreted.
I'm starting to regret encouraging Eric. Um,
Wow.
anyway, our listeners did not tune in to hear our, you know, our troubles, our troubles.
No.
They came here
What
to
did
hear about the glory of music. Yeah,
what did they tune in for this week?
Coral Fang is the third studio album by the punk rock band the Distillers. Following the underground success of their second album, Sing Sing Death House, the Distillers signed a major record label deal with Sire Records, written and recorded amidst a period. Don't make fun of me. Um, written and recorded amidst a period of intense media controversy surrounding the band's frontwoman, Brody Dahl. Dahl? How do you say it? You're the fan.
I, I think it's Dale or Dale, but we'll just go with Dale.
Brody. Coral Fang was seen as a conscious effort to distance the band from their California scene origins following Dahl's divorce from Rancid frontman Tim Armstrong and featured a more
Oh,
diverse sound, primarily influenced by grunge. Coral
yeah.
Fang received positive reviews and was a moderate commercial success, charting at number 97 on the US Billboard 200 and number 46 on the UK album charts. Who gives a shit about the UK anyway? I mean,
Oh, they gave
across the
us tea
pond.
and the Queen.
That's it. Well, the Queen's dead now, so half of
Long live
that's
the
gone.
King. Yeah.
No one cares about the King. The Distillers toured heavily in support of the album throughout 2003 and 2004 with appearances at Lollapalooza and at the Reading and Leeds festivals.
Mm.
Following the tour cycle's conclusion, the Distillers started to fracture due to exhaustion and Dahl's worsening addictions to crystal meth before
Ah,
ultimately breaking up in 2006. Coral Fang is the band's only major label studio album, and that's all I've managed to copy off of Wikipedia.
of Wikipedia. Thank you, Wikipedia. That
Yeah,
is the encyclopedia of the people.
yeah, yeah. So you're a Distillers fan. You picked this album.
Oh, I did pick this album. Um, I don't know. Where do I begin? Do we begin with how I found it? I suppose. Uh here in
Television.
here in good old New Zealand, we're quite a long way from the punk scene of California.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, we used to have a TV channel called Juice. You children of the '90s, remember Juice TV?
Mm.
Uh, and they used to play. It's MTV without all the bullshit. Essentially, a music television channel that plays
With
music.
music.
Right? Fucking
Mm.
imagine that. And
Mm.
anyway, in the 2000s, this is, I want to say it would have been, I don't know, let's go 2016. So way, way past when they were done.
Could we get the less boring version of this?
No, fuck. I'm always boring. You just read off Wikipedia for 2 minutes. So
That
suck
was
a
more
dick.
interesting to listen to you go, we're in New Zealand and then 20 years ago when music television.
Fine. I'll give you the short version. I saw the Hunger music video, liked it, bought the album. Now it's in my top 10 albums of all time. I give it a 10 out of 10. Fuck you, Dan. You finished the episode.
Jesus Christ, someone's a bit testy.
Hey, I got a leak in my roof. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, unfortunately, a 747 has crashed into the
Mm.
west wing of your palatial mansion, taking out
I
almost
mean,
1/12
don't
of the west wing. That's
don't belittle
incredible.
me, Dan. It's the West Wing. Okay? Just don't make
There's a,
my mansion seem smaller than it really is. It's the West Wing.
really, you go to the west wing, and then there's a wing off to the west of
There is
that wing.
a west. You go further to the west in my western wing, and that puts you in the West Wing, and
So
that's where I have.
747 crashed
Yeah, and
into the
honestly,
west wing of your mansion
the
and took out
West
almost
Wing,
1/12
and
of the roof.
yep, and directly into my room full of Adam West memorabilia.
In the west
So
wing on the
it
west
took out
west
all the
wing.
Wests I had in the West Wing. I'm livid. I'm livid. I
I
don't.
hope you. I understand there was 277 souls who perished in the crash. I only hope that you're suing the families to recover some of the costs.
I mean, I think they were quite overweight, and they contributed to the plummeting of the plane. So yes, yes, I
Probably.
will be. Probably.
Well, they can't
Who
get
knows?
away with this.
I
Like, you
mean,
can't just crash into someone's house,
no.
die in
And with
flames, and then expect not to pay a bill.
and that's it. And with the kind of money that we pull in from this podcast, every court's going to go with what I need. So
Your teams of lawyers are obviously going to
yeah, absolutely.
get their pounds worth of revenge here.
Mm, mm.
Disgusting people. Like, I'm sick of these poor people crashing planes into rich people's perfectly nice houses
Yeah,
and
I
just
mean
waltzing away to their deaths, just thinking they got away with it.
yeah,
It's got to end.
we spend copious amounts of money purchasing land in the far reaches of society, surround ourselves with high walls,
To get away
and
from these people.
get away from these filthy peasants. And they just, oh, let's get on a fucking international airplane and get closer to the
Fuckers.
West Wing is gone.
Makes you sick.
It's the Distillers. What do you think, Dan? Do you? I mean, it goes without saying that Brody Dahl is, still is quite the attractive specimen. I can say that as a
I
red-blooded male. I associate as a male. I identify as a male. I think she's a hottie.
You identify? Yeah. Does anyone else identify you as a male, or is it just you?
It doesn't matter. It's all personal now. Like
Yeah.
it's all just about attention seeking. So
Okay.
I want
Ooh.
attention, so I'm just normal.
Yeah,
You
well,
know?
obviously, I come from the woke perspective. Long-term listeners of the show will know that I am probably one of the most woke people on this planet.
Well, you're definitely awake. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
sometimes. And I personally always do find it offensive when women are belittled down to just their appearance, and their talent as a creative person is overlooked. But that said, I think we can agree that Brody Dahl knows how to wear a pair of fucking tight pants, doesn't she? Like she knows what she's doing.
Well, it would be offensive to the pants community to not wear them as well as she does. And just to clarify for your royal wokeness, she's hot and also fucking talented. So she's, apart from the
and knows how to
what I
wear a
just
pair of
discovered, the
pants.
meth addiction. It's important to know how to wear pants. Yeah. And sing like a motherfucker. Though.
If you're addicted to meth, it's important to know how to wear pants. Is that what you said?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know. If that's what you took from it, then yeah, perfect.
Oh, okay. So I've heard the opening track of the album a few times because you come around to my house and boss me and tell me I have to play that song.
I have to
And
go to your fucking hovel of a house, yeah, and I want to cheer myself up by playing some Distillers.
yeah, and obviously once we wipe down the plastic and you sit on the couch and you know
Mm.
we watch a bit of Distillers, and yeah, it's the first thing you notice is Brody Dowell knows how to wear the shit out of a pair of pants. Absolutely. When she walks past the camera in that video, and it kind of looks like she's got pink bottoms to the pants. So it looks like she's not wearing pants from below a point, like she's just sort of wearing really
Mm.
high underpants. It's really a great moment in music video history, really, isn't it?
Well, plus the jam and guitars and sweet music that's playing. Yeah, it's
But
look,
first, you notice the bottom, don't you? Obviously,
well, that's
that's
the
the
first
main
thing in the shot in the music
crux.
video. But to move things on to the people that want to hear about our opinions on music in this podcast, uh, I think this is a fucking superbly produced early 2000s pop punk record that rivals fucking Nevermind for its awesomeness. What say you, Savage?
Well, the first time I listened through to it, because it's the first time I listened to the album, I thought
Yeah.
a lot of it just sounded like the same, like very much one song blended into another. And then The
Uh-huh.
Hunger came on, and that's a really good song that kind of stands out, like it's got a different tempo. And during the course of the week, I had plenty of time to listen to the record because you obviously, you know, had a plane
Oh
crash
shit.
into the west wing
Yeah.
of
The
your
West
mansion.
Wing.
This episode was
Yeah.
delayed.
Mm.
Um, I listened to it quite a bit, and it really grew on me. And the songs started dividing up, and I could hear each one as their own thing. Whereas before, when I first
Mm.
listened to it, it was a bit of a it's one
Yeah.
thing over and over. And no, really enjoying it. There's not really a bad track on it, is there?
No, there
Just
is
sort of
not.
cranks along, and she's got a great voice. It did appear to me in the beginning that the band would change key, and her singing did not. Um, but it all
It's
sounds
like
fine. Yeah, no,
I,
enjoyed it. Solid album.
I had a very similar experience. So I saw The Hunger. That was my gateway drug. And I was like, fuck, this song's great. Why haven't I heard of this band? Looked them up, started listening to them. And my first listen to the album, I really liked The Hunger. Like, I thought that was just super quality. And then when I listened to the rest of it, much like you, I was like, oh, it's like a wall. I didn't really get into it the first, maybe, two or three listens. I was like, I get it, it's punky, but it felt too rough, or something like that. And then it just kind of creeps in. It gets under your skin. The hooks, you start picking them up. There's lots of shit going on in the background.
It's
I think
dense.
it's yeah,
Yeah, and it
I think
takes a
it's a
few
banger.
lessons, I think. Yeah.
And I hadn't
Before you
had that
really
in a
start
long time.
hearing the melodies, it
Yeah.
takes a few listens. Yeah.
It gets under your skin, or, the earworms dig their way in, like in Wrath of Khan. And then you just listen to it on repeat. Like, I put this album on all the time. This is probably one of my top go-tos when I'm driving around the country. Put the Distillers on, crank it up, and just let it play. It's all quality.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Coral Fang, I found out was a euphemism or a metaphor. You know what that metaphor is?
It's not a simile, which uses the word like, but yeah, I think I'm aware of what a metaphor could be. Do go on.
Yeah, but do you know what Coral Fang is a
Oh,
metaphor
I don't
for
know.
or
Meth addiction,
penis?
a penis,
Mm,
a coral fang.
yeah.
I mean, I get purple-headed womb ferret. That's a good metaphor for a cock.
That didn't fit on the album cover, obviously.
No.
But then when I read that and then listened to the song again, and it's all about digging in and getting inside you and coral fang getting inside
All
you.
right.
Yeah.
Well, see, I learned something. So on my next listen, I'm going to get that.
You gotta be thinking about cock.
This album just, well, I'm very rarely not thinking about cock. We know this. But yeah, now the next time I listen to it, I'm just gonna. It's another level, another layer of the onion that is Coral Fang.
As a woke person, I really identify with a woman's voice talking about a penis inside of her.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's not woke. That's just a chick talking about a dick being in her. It's kind of normal. That's as straight as it comes, Dan. Woke would be if that dick was attached to a guy dressed in a dog costume, something like that.
Okay.
While putting her fingers in a toaster.
Yeah, we get up to a lot of weird shit, don't we? I mean, woke folk. Yeah, putting on dog collars and walking up the street with that bouncing. Yeah,
but it's all okay. It's all okay. No judgment. It's all okay. One world, one spirit, one people. Namaste.
Yeah.
Fingers in a toaster.
Yeah, there was a lot of controversy with this. I found out she was Australian. She's from Melbourne.
Yeah.
And she was sexually abused as a child. Apparently, there was a settlement where she got some money and she moved to LA when she was 16. And she met Tim Armstrong, singer of Rancid, and he was 30, and they started getting it on. And they got married 2 years later. And seems like he's a bit of a whiny prick. And she finally got rid of him and said he's a baby. And he went around bad mouthing her everywhere, telling people not to listen to her. And he used a lot of his influence to kick her out of the punk scene in California.
Oh, damn.
And apparently people complained about this album because it wasn't punk enough. And Tim Armstrong had a lot to say about a lot of bad things to say about her and running her down, and punks didn't like.
Well, if it was too punk, there's no chance of it being a hit. You know, I guess they wanted to pull a Nevermind. They wanted to go slightly more mainstream. And you can tell it's not mainstream, but you can tell they were trying.
Had their mainstreamy hitty songs, don't they? They're black
I don't remember. I don't know Rancid at all.
Black socks. Boys no good. That was that hit they had. Very catchy kind of, I don't know, walking bass line song.
Oh.
I can't remember.
Oh, well. Maybe a future episode. I don't know Rancid at all.
But apparently he was an alcoholic and a bit of a weirdo, and she finally got rid of him, and she was on meth, and then she hooked up with Josh Holmes from
Josh
Queens of the Stone Age.
Homie. Yeah, right.
Homer, whatever.
She had she's kept her career going post the Distillers. So they're back together now. I think I saw they did like a Christmas gig.
They did a lockdown special.
Yeah, that's it.
Did a tour together, and she did a couple other bands in between. She did a solo effort in another band called Spinneret. I was looking at.
Yeah, that's it. And they sounded a lot like Queens of the Stone Age. I thought Spinneret.
Okay, I hadn't really checked.
Not bad. Out. Yeah, they got a few good tunes. It's all kind of poorly produced, though. You know how you might not know, but I don't like much. I'm quite fussy when it comes to production. Like Radiohead's albums, their later albums I can't listen to because their drum sound sucks. But Spinneret was, there was something about I don't know whether it was the mastering or the mix, but there was lots of like clipping and poor sound to it. So I found it hard to listen to, but good songs, but then badly released, which I hate.
What did Radiohead do to their drum sound? Is it still real drums? Is it all like
no? Well, you know, they say it's a real drummer, but it sounds overly digital, and I just can't handle it. Yeah. Some people love it. People keep telling me, "Oh, try this later Radiohead album." I'll try it.
They haven't had a hit in decades. Let's face it.
Did they ever have one?
I seem to remember OK Computer. We did a review of that and all the hits on
Did it
it.
have hits though? Did it have hits?
Paranoid
Hey, that was a
Android?
good album. I don't remember Paranoid Android making number one. Maybe it got. I don't know.
Well, it was played everywhere. I don't know if it was number one,
Yeah,
but it was
true. All
definitely
right, let's
top
call that
10.
a hit. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
this I think this one kicks off like as soon as you drop the needle, as they say, kick off on track one, which is Drain the Blood, straight into it. Like
it doesn't fuck
here
around. I like it. No pussy
here
songs.
yeah, here we are. Here's our guitar tone, here's our sweet drum and bass, and here's our screamy guttural lead singer. And
Oh, she's got a great
she's
voice. Yeah.
she's like a better Courtney Love. You know what I mean?
She's like a Courtney Love that isn't shit.
Yeah.
And is
Yeah.
actually hot.
Yeah, like a Courtney Love that didn't murder her husband. No, wait, that rumored.
Yeah.
Sorry, gotta put that in there. I don't want to lose the West Wing.
It's like an attractive Courtney Love with talent.
Yeah, oh, we'll go with that. And a
And
meth
isn't
addiction, though.
Courtney Love, which is another bonus.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, she's a meth addict, but it's still better, isn't it?
I guess. And then it just keeps going. Like first track, you play it. It's blam. Here's a statement, and then it's straight into the next song. Like it doesn't even like let you breathe too much between tracks. It's just straight into the next one. Dismantle Me, track 2, kick straight in. Another solid rocker. Yeah, like they don't really let their guard down much until the hunger. It's where, like as you said, tempo drops, style changes.
But it's not a pussy song either. It's just
It's not a pussy song.
it's moody. It's moody. It's a nicer song, but it's moody and it goes hard. Goes hard in places, doesn't it?
It does. It's this is a great album once you learn it. If you're a car singer, to just rip your own lungs out trying to scream along. That's what it's about.
I learnt the lyrics to one of the songs.
Mm.
You remember the one that goes?
Oh, that's all of them, isn't it?
No, it's the third one.
Okay, the third one.
The fourth one goes.
Yeah. That sounds so
different.
good.
Quite
Yeah,
different.
it's. I still can't believe you never made it.
Well, a lot of people tell me that.
But you know what? If I had to be real fair about this album, just to get to the nitty gritty, I love it from start to almost finish. Death Sex, which is the last song, which is essentially what I think should have been put on as a. Remember back in our day when they used to have secret songs on CDs? And you'd have, 20 minutes of silence and then a song would start. That's what I think Death Sex, it's hard to say, should be. Because it's just a wall of guitar noise and, like they're smashing their instruments and trashing the studio. But other than that, everything's fucking A+ for me. Which
The thing
is
is,
great.
like, as a guitar player myself, and I think you'll agree with me as another guitar player, that sort of wall of soundy, guitars gnashing. There's a bit of skill in doing that because when you're actually gnashing your guitar and just being stupid on it, it doesn't sound like that at all. It just clack, clack, So there's a bit of I always kind of wonder how they make those noises exactly because it's not random.
That's it. It's well put together. Like the more
I
listens
kind
you
of
give
like
it,
that last song anyway. I think it's a good finish. Just clack, boom.
yeah, just make some noise. That's it.
Mm.
To go with your wall of sound, yeah, the guitars are separated enough you can hear what's going on. Like there's a lot of noise coming out of this band. I think it's 2 guitars, the bass drums, and the singer, right? And it's full on. But then when you really listen to what's going on within that wall of sound, there's heaps of backing harmonies, vocal wise, little guitar lines. there's heaps going on, and it sort of it draws you in. It forces you to listen again and again. To oh fuck yeah, there she's got that. It sounds dumb, but it's good. Oh, there's a counter melody there, and oh, I like the harmony here, where you don't hear that the first time. The first time you just hear her going wah. It's great.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of stuff like early Green Day or something. That was pretty like four chords and three chords in the truth kind of an album.
Mm.
You actually listen to this, you hear that they're jamming on the fifth, and then they're going from a fifth to a fifth and resolving to the one, and da 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 da.
Mm.
There's actually a bit of someone knows what they're doing in the band.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
And there's a lot taken from the Nirvana songbook as well, where they'll start where she's starting in her low register to sing the first couple of verses, and then I don't know whether the band kicks up or they stay the same but just go distorted or louder, and then she adds her screaming in, like there's
yeah.
definitely roots shared between
There's
the two
thought.
albums.
There's thought gone into the arrangements, and it's well put
Mm.
together.
Yeah, absolutely. I reckon this should have been. When did you say it came out? 2003. I think.
Two. Oh, Sing Sing Blues was 2002.
Yeah, this is telling me 2003.
Yeah, I
My
didn't say.
information.
I haven't got two.
And I think it should have been a massive crossover hit. I reckon if they'd had, maybe more touring, or if they did have an album after this, that they could have gone places. I think they were on the way to being huge.
Yeah, I read
Maybe.
a thing about it. They got offers from a lot of labels, and they chose the one where they knew the guy would probably follow them, but would actually push them, but
Mm,
wasn't actually probably the biggest label. They
yeah,
thought they
right.
would get signed to a label that would forget about them straight away and too big to care, whereas they went
Yeah.
with a smaller offshoot of a major label that would care, but perhaps didn't have the clout. So
Yeah. Well, I guess it's good then that, like, geez, what did I say? 2016 maybe. So that's 13 years after the album came out. And I'm a massive fan now. I like this album, many repeats. The one before, Sing Sing Death House, that's in there.
I haven't heard that.
It's
You mind
fucking
smelling
way
my?
heavier.
You mind smelling my coffee?
Do you want me to smell your coffee?
Can you smell my coffee?
Hang on a minute. Lean over a bit further.
Okay. Does it
Yeah,
smell like?
well,
Does it smell like Eric pissed in it?
it smells kind of herby. I'm not getting any hints of urine.
Eric, did
Eric,
you piss on my
Eric,
coffee?
Eric. Yeah, well, it's hard for him to nod because he's currently got a belt round his neck. He's in the cupboard in the back of the studio there.
Mm.
I think he's trying to Michael Hutchins himself there, but he looks like he's having a good time.
Well, we should have hired the Asian. This is
Mm,
anyway.
would have been efficient.
It would have been a lot better, to be honest. God,
Enjoy yourself, Eric.
yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
well, I don't think you'll last long. I think we'll get a replacement shortly.
Hey, have you seen any of their live stuff on the YouTubes? I think it's pretty good. Like,
I just watched The Hunger at the reading festival where she is
yeah,
wearing another pair of tight pants that are kind of got a
she
plaid
wears them
tattoo
well.
onto them.
You
And the
sexist
little,
pig.
I was admiring her as a woman, and that was her opinion that she should be wearing plaid pants that are quite tight. And you can see her belly button.
Hey, I appreciate the Lord's work.
Thank you, Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Lord.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sweet.
Uh,
What are we at? We got 5 minutes left. What do we do
I,
with these things?
well, I heard the latest tidbit I heard from a little bit of gossip is that okay, she split up with Josh Holmes after 13 years of marriage and I don't know, three or four babies.
Mm.
And she was with some other dork. I don't know who he is, but apparently, they were accusing Josh Holmes of grabbing him by the ankles and hanging him off over the railing of the first story of a building. Which sounded
Like in
like a
Commando.
completely made up story. Yes, he's not Commando, is
Mm.
he? um, yeah, it sounds like it got quite ugly. Apparently, Josh Holmes went to rehab during the after their marriage because he's got alcohol and
Mm.
drug abuse. She's got a type. She's got a type, and she's on
You,
meth as
you know what
well.
it sounds?
So
It sounds like what you and I are missing from our musical careers is copious amounts of drug issues. It seems to be a common theme with
hmm.
great artists.
We both took
Um,
a ton of drugs, but never had any problems, did we? No.
well, it was just paracetamol.
Is that what you were taking?
Mm, yeah.
She hit heroin right from the beginning,
Oh,
apparently. Heroin and then meth.
wow. Jesus.
Tough
Stay
life.
off drugs, kids. Stay off drugs. Don't have a
Yeah.
successful musical career. Get a West Wing. Start a podcast. That's where all the money is.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, I don't think people really listen to music quite so much anymore.
No. They just listen to people talk about shit for hours. That's great. You feel like you've got friends, but
Have
you
you seen
don't.
that? Have you seen that there? It's like listening rates are going down. Music's just not popular anymore. Well,
Because
its
people are busy
popularity is
learning the
diving.
dances. Yeah. Got to learn how to dance on the TikToks. That's right. If you
Yeah.
wanted to rot a country from the bottom up, you'd do it through social media. So, you know, whoever the bad country is at the moment that's giving the world social media, they're going to win. Because all the youth of all the, what do we call ourselves? Western countries, we're fucked. These kids on TikTok, none of them are going to be able to run a country.
Uh, yeah. This is what happens when you hand out participation trophies.
Mm,
Turns out that was a bad idea.
yeah, seems
And
so.
kids weren't bullied enough. That's my opinion too. You know, anyone it's like get
Oh,
bullied.
there's still bullying. It's gone up a notch actually from what I've seen. Like
Uh,
it's fucking brutal now, and you don't like back in our day. You could just go home, and it was all good, and then you could go back to school and get bullied. Now you can't. You know, you go home, it's in your pocket, it's on your computer, all that bullshit. But fuck all that wank. How do you
go
rate
punch them in
this?
the face.
Yeah.
I'd give it an 8. Yeah, I'm gonna give it 8 pairs of pants. And Brody changing
So
into them.
it's a
Yeah.
16. Yeah. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna give it 10 guttural screams out of 10. I can't fault it. It's that good, people. Go and
A
put it
pair
on.
of pants is one item of clothing. So is each
Mm,
leg a pant. And together the pants.
I guess you're correct. Yeah. Oh, let's go with that.
I'm not sure if you ever thought about that before.
Mm,
Seems to
pant.
make sense. Is there any shit
Pant.
songs? None.
Nah, none.
Except for Death, Sexy, Bed, whatever it
For
is.
me, yeah, that's probably because it's not really a song, but I get the emotion and the thought behind it, so I can't fault it. I think it's almost a perfect album. It's easily in my top 10 of all time, which is unexpected because I'm more of a folky, um, shit music kind of guy, and I really like this album. I really do. Thanks, Brody, Dale. In all seriousness,
Yeah, the
quality
meth
work.
paid off. Yeah.
Well, whatever you were on at the time, it was glorious. And
Yeah. Get back
slay
on
your
it and do it
pants.
again. Are we allowed to say
Yeah.
that?
Uh,
Eric, get your finger out of it.
well, I
Eric.
think he's done. I think he's done. Let him
Oh,
finish. He's done. All right.
made a mess now. Producer Eric. Well, are you going to end the episode, Eric? What the fuck are you doing?
Push the button, Eric. Pass out on the console.
Push
There
it,
we go.
Eric. He's a fucking idiot. He hasn't done it yet.
Well, look, maybe next episode we'll have someone new. All right.
He
Pretty sure.
pushed the button, Eric.
Eric! God damn it!